Hey there, welcome back. Today I'm trying to track down all the remaining engine tin bits. I can't believe there's still more that goes on this engine, but there are some critical pieces that have to do with cooling. I'm not so worried about the heater, basically just trying to get the engine in the car and running so it won't overheat.
Garage time.
I've located some of the pieces and I'm getting ready to paint them. These were previously done with my ultrasonic cleaner. This is the piece that goes under the fuel pump. It needs a little bit more time in the ultrasonic cleaner. You can see there's still some pitting in that one. And then this piece I had previously painted. It's good to go for the pulley. The one thing that I couldn't find is this piece. This is the one for the 356, and I thought I might have one for the 912. But I haven't found it. I found the front tin, or the rear tin, which is the big one. It's been a really long time since I remember finding that 912 engine tin that goes in the front. I know I used to have one, probably even had it before I bought this car. So I might have sold it. I might have either misplaced it, or I've got so many parts now, I've got things stacked on top of it. So I have two choices. I can either buy one for like 150 plus, a used one, or I could try to make something. Now, I have the 356 tin to kind of model it. The 912 tin's a little easier because the rubber seal goes on the car, not the tin. The budget from set way back a long time ago was $10,000, including the price of the car. And I'm over that by a little. And so lately I've been tightening the screws. Probably the last 6 months, I've really been tightening the screws. Since this car was painted, I've been very budget-minded. And this is one of those things that I'm just going to take pleasure in trying to make it myself. Okay, I've put this 356 piece on here temporarily just to get an idea, how it fits. And it really just closes off the air. So this will be where the engine bay meets. And the issue with this one, the difference between the 356 and the 911 is this one terminates right here. It needs to come out to like here and just, meet up with the existing tins and this exhaust flange on the head. This is really hot right here. So you just want to prevent that hot air from going right here into this fan. This is the cooling fan. This one's been heavily damaged. Someone cut the tin to get the throttle linkage out for some reason. So this is not in good shape either. Back here you can see that channel right there, like an upside down smile or a frown, I guess. That's where this tin is going to seal off the engine bay from the engine. I don't know if you can see, but there's just a crease here with my fingers, creating a line on that so I can cut it out with scissors, transfer it onto some metal. So you can really see the difference in the arc between the 356 and the 912. It's just a wider engine bay. Here's some 20 gauge sheet metal. Things got a little wobbly on the line, so I'm using this bandsaw blade to make it sure it's like a steady curvature. Fits pretty close to the car. It's a little bit off, but now I'm just going to trace a little flange on here. That's going to give it some stiffness, so when the seal pushes on it, it's not going to be super floppy. So this tool's kind of been in hiding. If you go way back to one of the very first videos on this car, I used this tool to make the backdated fenders. So I made the signal brackets for the 73 and earlier turn signals, and also the hood extension piece and the little side extension piece, that was all sort of made here with this tool. So it's kind of cool to bring it back towards the end of this project. I'm referencing some pictures on my phone of how the actual 912 piece looks relative to this one. And this height here is the same. Between the 912 and the 356, it looks identical. So I am going to just mark this and then cut it. Cool. I'm resuming this project after Thanksgiving. So today's Black Friday, and I would much rather be building parts than shopping for them and being out in the public right now. Cylinder number 3 pops this way, so it'll have a little doghouse kind of shaped tent thing that'll come down right about to here. Origami time. This side's a little harder to see, but it does the same thing. It's just there's a little bit more yellow on this side of the fan shroud. I'm about 3 hours into this project already, so I need to speed it up a little bit. Now that the templates are done, it's just a matter of slicing and dicing and bending and welding, so I'm gonna try to crank through that pretty quick, catch up a little bit on time. matches the template. I'm just gonna weld it onto the main tin once I get the other side formed. This guy is also done. Got all these flanges bent. So, I'm not sure what that's all about. Okay, so far so good. This fits around the head or the exhaust flange. This will draw tight. Kind of missed that hole there on the bottom. Oh well. Put a new one in. Same on this side. This side is going to need a little more work where this portion here is going to blend into whatever this flange is. Probably it's just going to get cut off again. Might need to trim it just a little bit right there. Okay, here's how the welded piece looks now. There's still a little hole down here. I might fill that up just because it's right next to the head, but I could just continue this plate over and then up. But this is formed that way as well. So that part looks pretty good. And then this part over here looks great. This part fits really nice close to the head. No leaks on this side. It's right up against the tin right there. So now it's just a matter of making a little curved piece that fills this gap, and then we can call it done. Boom. So you can see it doesn't like to completely bend evenly, and that's because this area here needs to shrink. Now I have access to a shrinker stretcher at the workshop. They actually have a power bead roller too, but I'm going to try to form this the best I can just here with regular tools. I'm gonna go one more pass. Okay, looking pretty ugly. Get the rest of it. I'm just going to bolt this brake rotor down to my table. The other way to shrink metal is to weld it. So even though this still looks pretty rough, I'm just gonna hammer it and weld it as I go because that's going to help shrink it and shape it at the same time. Sometimes the best clamps are just tape. All right, here it is clipped on with the new hooks, and this has all been, you know, formed and hammered. It's still slightly lumpy. I'm not gonna spend time getting all the lumps out, and I still have a little more welding to do, but I'm really happy with the way it fits. Here's how it looks, how it fits onto the crankcase. It has a nice tight fit onto the crankcase with those little clips. See those two little clips right there? I might do something with this corner right here, maybe roll a flange underneath. This is kind of a big hole here. I think the stock piece had a depression that came and went further in there. So I haven't looked at the stock picture in a little while. I don't know if this is going to go through. I'm going to drill that oversize. I got about 6 hours into this piece now, and it's still not done. I still have a little more welding to do. That's pretty much it. Just these bigger gaps, really tough to do with the TIG welder. This is a pretty rough piece, to be honest with you. I will break out the MIG welder and probably fill that up next time right before I get ready to paint this piece. But yeah, I know this is hard for you guys to watch. Sometimes it's a $150 piece, and some of you might be shaking your head, but yeah, I enjoyed making it, and I'm sure $25 an hour is what it is per hour, and I would much rather be doing this than doing Black Friday shopping sales or whatever. So I had fun making it. This kind of brings me back down to memory lane when we were doing the same bead roller exercises on the front of this car, and that all turned out pretty well too. So thanks again for watching. I hope you maybe saw something you liked, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you sometime next week. Cheers.